Good morning, students. In last lecture, I explained you about transportation in plants, that the vascular tissues which are responsible for transportation in place of plants. We have discussed about xylem, and today I will explain you about phloem as well, but after the excretory system. So next topic is excretion and human excretory system. What do you mean by excretion? Excretion means removal of nitrogenous waste, that is urea or uric acid, from the body. Okay, now in case of human, different organs are present which are working together to perform the function of excretion. So that comes under human excretory system. So today, first of all, I will explain about human excretory system. You can see this is the diagram of human excretory system, and it consists of the main organ, that is the vein-shaped structures known as kidney. Pair of kidneys are present in human excretory system. Then from the kidneys you can see these tube-like structures are arising and meeting to other structure. These are also present in pair and we called it ureter. One is ureter and two you call ureters. Then they lead to a sac-like muscular structure which is elastic one and can expand, known as urinary bladder, and this urinary bladder leads to a structure that is known as urethra. Now, what actually happened during the excretion? Here blood supply is also there in excretory system. Renal artery, renal word is associated with kidneys. Renal artery is bringing blood to the kidneys, and renal vein is taking out the blood from the kidneys towards the heart. Now, kidneys are made up of a large number of microscopic structures known as nephrons. Nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. They are also known as the filtering units of the kidney. Due to the nephrons, urine is formed and it leads to the urinary bladder with the help of these tube-like structures which are known as ureters. And in the urinary bladder, urine gets collected, and when the amount of urine increase and its expansion leads to the urge of passing of urine out of the body through the urethra. So now we will study how urine is formed and structure of nephron. This is the diagram of one nephron, and I already told you that millions of nephrons are there in one kidney. Nephron is the functional unit of kidney, or we can say structural unit of kidney. It is also known as filtering unit of kidney. What are the different parts of nephron and how urine is formed, that I will tell you. First, this cup-shaped structure. This is the cup-shaped structure. It is known as Bowman's capsule. It leads to the coiled tube-like structure. This is known as PCT, or proximal convoluted tubule, and then it leads to this hairpin U-shaped structure, and this is known as loop of Henle. This side, which is bringing the things downward, is known as descending limb of loop of Henle, and this is the ascending limb of loop of Henle. Again it leads to the coil structure, and this is the DCT. DCT means distal convoluted tubule, and at the end there are the collecting ducts which collects the urine formed from different nephrons and leads to ultimately into the ureters, and ureter leads to into urinary bladder, and from the urinary bladder urine move out of the body. Now you can see here, this is the branch of renal artery which enters into the kidney. Now, inside the Bowman capsule, this artery breaks down into small tube-like structures, it is known as capillaries, and this network of capillaries present in the Bowman capsule is known as the glomerulus. Bowman capsule and glomerulus together known as Malpighian tubule. Now you can see this renal artery when exit from this Bowman capsule, it is further breaks down and remains in connection with the different parts of the nephron. Why? That I will tell later. Now see what happens when this renal artery breaks down into the capillaries. We know that capillaries are thin-walled. As a result, whatever the material, that nitrogenous waste present in the renal artery, that is urea, uric acid, extra water, whatsoever, that get filtered and pass through the capillaries into the lumen of the Bowman capsule, and this process is known as glomerulus filtration. So the material which collects into the Bowman capsule, that is known as the glomerular filtrate, which consists of harmful substances like urea, uric acids, along with that also consist of some of the useful substances like glucose, amino acids, water, some iron, sodium chloride ion. So along with the harmful substances, useful substances also get filtered through the capillaries and the wall of Bowman capsule, and then this filtrate move along this tube. While it is moving along the tube, the material which were useful to the human body, they will be reabsorbed from the filtrate and enter into these blood capillaries, the coiled structures which are moving along with the tube, and then the remaining filtrate will move along in the tube, and other ions, the sodium chloride ions, which are also essential for the body, they will also get absorbed from the filtrate and enter into the blood vessels. Now, as the urine move, the amount of urine decreases and materials which were present in the filtrate will be reabsorbed from the blood vessels, and then it leads to the DCT. In the DCT, extra water, excess water which is present in the body, that will be absorbed into the or enter into the tube, that is the DCT, and ultimately a urine is formed and it will move to the collecting ducts, and from the collecting ducts this will enter into the ureter, and from the ureter it will lead to the urinary bladder. So the useful substances which enters into the filtrate is reabsorbed, and the harmful substances which was still present in the blood will leads to the filtrate. This is how the urine is formed in the human body. Excess water absorption, reabsorption, or absorption or secretion, it depends on the amount of water present in the body. If the amount of water present in the body is more, then it will be secreted into the tube-like structure or DCT and will be moved out of the body. But if the water in the body is less, then the amount of water will be reabsorbed into the blood from the filtrate, and less urine will be produced. This is how the urine is formed in the body. Now next is the excretion in the plants. How plants get rid of the waste product produced in their body. We know that oxygen is produced during the photosynthesis for the plant, that is the waste product, and even plants also perform respiration. So at that time they produce carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide during respiration is a useless product or waste product. So both the gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide, they get removed from the plant body through stomata. Excess water from the plant body is removed by the process of transpiration, again through stomata. Some of the waste products are stored in the dead cells and even lose some parts, such as leaves. Waste products are also stored in cellular vacuoles in case of the plants. Resins and the gums, which are again the waste products, they are stored in the old xylem. And plants also excrete some substances into the soil around them. Now, next is transportation of food in case of plants. Since I told you that day also that in case of the plants, glucose is formed during the photosynthesis in the leaves of the plants, and then that glucose convert into sucrose. So the transportation of sucrose or the food formed in the leaves to different parts of the plant is known as the translocation, and this translocation of food and other substances takes place with the help of the phloem, and these substances can be moved to upward and downward direction, mean bidirectional movement of food takes place in case of plants. So how actually it takes place? Translocation in phloem is achieved by utilizing energy. Means here for the transportation of substances energy is required. The sucrose formed in the plant body is transferred to the phloem tissue. Obviously when sucrose will enter into the phloem tissue, it needs the energy. As the sucrose enter into the phloem, water will also move there, and osmotic pressure of the tissue will increase. Due to the increase in the osmotic pressure in the cells of the phloem, it will lead to the material or movement of sucrose to adjacent cells which have the less osmotic pressure. In this way, from one cell to another which have high osmotic pressure to the cells which have less osmotic pressure, food moves and it leads to the different parts of the plants. So this is the paragraph from where you can get the answer of this question, and today I will give the assignment and you have to solve these questions. Okay, next is the artificial kidney, that is hemodialysis. Students, in case of some persons kidney get failure, at that time what we do, we just pump the blood from the artery of the person and we provide the solution which is very much similar to the body solutions, and here semi-permeable membranes are present through which the harmful substances get removed from the blood, and that will enter into the osmotic solutions and will remove from the body, and continuously fresh material is provided to this system, and ultimately the blood which get cleared or purified, that will again enter into the body of the human. So this was the artificial kidney in those persons where kidney failure is there, and that's all about our chapter. I will give you some questions for the assignment and you have to do them.